Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. How many dreams have you buried because you said, I'll start tomorrow? Tomorrow? The most dangerous word in the English language. Tomorrow has stolen more dreams than failure ever could, because failure means you tried. Tomorrow means you surrendered before the battle even began. Here's the truth. Nobody wants to hear laziness isn't your biggest enemy. Laziness is a symptom. It's a signal. It's your mind telling you that something inside you has become stronger than your desire to succeed. Most people wake up every morning with good intentions. They want to work harder. They want to build a business. They want to get fit. They want financial freedom. They want happiness. But what happens? The alarm rings. They hit snooze. They scroll social media. They waste an hour. 1 hour becomes 1 day. 1 day becomes 1 year. And 1 year becomes a life full of regret. That's how dreams die, not in a dramatic explosion, but in tiny daily decisions. Success isn't built in one incredible moment. It's built in the moments when nobody is watching. When you choose discipline over comfort. When you choose action over excuses. When you decide that your future matters more than your feelings. You see, your brain loves comfort. It wants certainty. It wants safety. It wants to conserve energy. That's why staying in bed feels easier than going to the gym. That's why watching videos feels easier than learning new skills. That's why making excuses feels easier than making progress. Your brain isn't trying to make you successful. It's trying to keep you comfortable. And comfort has destroyed more potential than hardship ever could. If you want extraordinary results, you must become comfortable being uncomfortable. Every champion understands this. Every entrepreneur understands this. Every successful person understands this. Growth begins where comfort ends. You don't become confident first and then take action. You take action first. Confidence follows. Think about it. A child doesn't wait until they're confident before learning to walk. They fall. They get up. They fall again. They keep moving. Eventually, walking becomes natural. Success works exactly the same way. The problem is that adults are afraid to look foolish. They want guarantees. They want certainty. They want perfection. Perfection is a lie. Progress is the truth. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a powerful decision. The moment you decide that enough is enough, your life begins to change. Not because the world changes, because you do. Your standards determine your future. If you tolerate procrastination, you'll keep procrastinating. If you tolerate excuses, you'll keep making excuses. If you tolerate mediocrity, you'll live an average life. Raise your standards. Demand more from yourself, not because you're not enough, but because you're capable of far more than you've accepted. Stop negotiating with your goals. Stop asking yourself whether you feel like working. Feelings change every hour. Commitment doesn't. The people who succeed aren't always the smartest. They're the most consistent. They show up when they're tired. They show up when they're discouraged. They show up when nobody applauds them. That's why they win. Discipline is freedom. Think about that. People think discipline is a prison. It's not. Discipline frees you from debt. Discipline frees you from poor health. Discipline frees you from regret. Discipline gives you choices. Without discipline, your emotions become your master. With discipline, your future becomes your creation. Every morning you have two voices inside your head. One says, sleep a little longer. The other says, build the life you've always wanted. Whichever voice you feed becomes your future. Nobody is coming to save you. No perfect opportunity. No magical motivation. No lucky break. You are the opportunity. You are the answer. You are the person you've been waiting for. If you spend your life waiting until you feel motivated, you'll spend your life waiting. Motivation starts the journey. Discipline finishes it. Remember this, you don't have to change your entire life today. Just win today. Win this hour. Win this decision. Read one page. Do one workout. Make one phone call. Write one paragraph. Take one step. Small victories create unstoppable momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence creates belief. Belief creates extraordinary results. One day you'll wake up and realize that the person you dreamed of becoming is staring back at you in the mirror. Not because life became easier, because you became stronger. Every excuse you eliminate adds another brick to your future. Every disciplined decision becomes an investment in the person you're becoming. The question isn't whether you have time. The question is whether your dreams matter enough. The question isn't whether it's hard. Everything worthwhile is hard. The question is whether you're willing to become the kind of person who does hard things consistently. Imagine yourself 5 years from now. One version of you chose comfort. The other chose courage. One made excuses. The other made progress. One watched other people succeed. The other became the success story. Which version will become reality? The answer is hidden in what you do today, not tomorrow, not next Monday, today. Because your future is not created by what you intend to do. It's created by what you repeatedly do. So stand up, take responsibility, kill the excuses, destroy procrastination, silence the voice of comfort, feed the voice of greatness. You have dreams that deserve your effort. You have gifts the world needs. You have potential waiting to be unleashed. This is your moment. Not because the circumstances are perfect, but because you've decided they no longer control you. Take control of your mind. Take control of your habits. Take control of your life. And remember, your destiny is never decided by your past. It is decided by the decisions you make starting right now. Thank you. Most people believe laziness is the problem, but that's one of the biggest lies they will ever tell themselves. Laziness is rarely the real enemy. It is the mask that hides something much deeper. Think about it. Have you ever been excited about something you truly loved? Maybe it was a new opportunity, a vacation, a hobby, or a goal that lit a fire inside you. Suddenly, you found energy you didn't know you had. You woke up early without complaining. You stayed up late without feeling exhausted. You didn't need someone to push you because your desire pulled you forward. That proves something powerful. The issue was never a lack of energy. The issue was where your energy was directed. When people say they're lazy, what they're often experiencing is fear, uncertainty, confusion, or a lack of emotional connection to their goals. The moment you recognize this truth, you stop attacking yourself and start searching for the real obstacle standing between you and the life you want. One hidden cause of laziness is fear, and fear is incredibly skilled at wearing different disguises. Sometimes it appears as procrastination. Other times it looks like perfectionism, overthinking, or constantly waiting for the perfect moment. Imagine standing at the edge of a new opportunity. You want to launch your business, apply for your dream job, start exercising, or learn a new skill. But then your mind begins whispering questions. What if I fail? What if people laugh at me? What if I'm not good enough? Instead of admitting you're afraid, your brain convinces you to delay. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, next week, or next month. The truth is that tomorrow isn't solving your fear, it's simply hiding it. Every day you postpone action, fear becomes stronger while your confidence becomes weaker. The only way to silence fear is not by waiting until it disappears, but by moving forward while it still exists. Another reason people fall into laziness is because they have lost sight of a meaningful purpose. Human beings are designed to move towards something that inspires them. When your goals belong to someone else's expectations, instead of your own dreams, every task feels heavy. You drag yourself through each day because your heart isn't connected to what you're doing. But when you discover a purpose that excites you, something extraordinary happens. Suddenly, obstacles become challenges instead of burdens. Long hours become investments instead of sacrifices. You stop counting how much work you have left because you're focused on the incredible future you're creating. Purpose transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary passion. That's why some people can work tirelessly toward a dream, while others struggle to complete even the simplest task. The difference isn't talent or intelligence. It's having a reason powerful enough to keep moving when life becomes difficult. Comfort is another invisible trap that slowly convinces people they're lazy. Comfort feels safe, familiar, and relaxing, but it quietly steals ambition one small decision at a time. Every time you choose the easier option instead of the better one, your comfort zone grows a little larger while your confidence grows a little smaller. It starts with simple choices: pressing the snooze button, skipping one workout, delaying one important phone call, or telling yourself you'll do it later. None of these decisions seem significant on their own, yet together they create a lifestyle of hesitation. The danger is that comfort never announces itself as an enemy. It feels pleasant in the moment, but over time it leaves you with frustration, regret, and unrealized potential. Greatness has never been built inside the comfort zone. It is created by people who are willing to exchange temporary ease for lasting fulfillment. Sometimes laziness is born from the stories people repeat to themselves every single day. The mind is always listening, and eventually it believes whatever it hears most often. If you constantly say, "I'm lazy," "I'm not disciplined," "I never finish anything," or "success isn't for people like me," your brain begins acting according to those beliefs. Your identity shapes your actions far more than your intentions ever will. That's why changing your life starts with changing your internal conversation. Instead of identifying yourself by your past mistakes, begin identifying yourself by the person you're becoming. Tell yourself that you are someone who keeps promises, someone who finishes what they start, someone who grows stronger every day. These aren't empty affirmations. They are the foundation of a new identity. Once your identity changes, your habits naturally begin to follow, because people always act in ways that are consistent with who they believe they are. The greatest breakthrough comes when you stop asking, "How do I become less lazy?" and start asking, "What is really holding me back?" That single question changes everything. Instead of fighting the symptom, you begin healing the cause. Maybe you need a clearer vision. Maybe you need to face a fear you've avoided for years. Maybe you need better habits, healthier relationships, or a stronger belief in yourself. Whatever the reason, understand this: you are not destined to stay where you are today. Every successful person has faced moments of doubt, hesitation, and procrastination. The difference is that they refused to let those moments define their future. They confronted the real problem beneath the surface, took responsibility for changing it, and transformed their lives one decision at a time. The same power exists within you, waiting for the moment you stop blaming laziness and start uncovering the greatness that has been hidden underneath it all. Have you ever noticed how motivation comes and goes like the weather? Some mornings you wake up feeling unstoppable. You believe today is the day you'll change your life. You make plans, write goals, and promise yourself that this time will be different. But then another morning arrives, and the excitement is gone. Suddenly the bed feels warmer, the work feels harder, and your dreams seem farther away than they did yesterday. If your success depends on how motivated you feel, then your future will always be controlled by your emotions. Emotions are unpredictable. They rise and fall every single day. That's why so many people start strong but never finish. They confuse temporary excitement with lasting commitment. The people who create extraordinary lives understand one powerful truth: motivation may ignite the fire, but discipline keeps it burning long after the excitement has disappeared. Discipline is not about forcing yourself to suffer or living a joyless life. It is about making a decision that your future is more important than your present comfort. Every successful person reaches moments when they don't feel like working. Athletes don't always feel like training. Entrepreneurs don't always feel like solving problems. Writers don't always feel inspired to write. Leaders don't always wake up full of confidence. Yet they continue because they have trained themselves to act based on commitment rather than emotion. They understand that feelings are temporary, but the rewards of consistency can last a lifetime. When you stop asking yourself, "Do I feel like doing this?" and start asking, "Is this moving me closer to my goals?" you begin thinking like a champion. That single shift changes the direction of your entire life. Imagine building a house one brick at a time. One brick may not seem impressive. You might even wonder if it makes any difference at all. But if you lay one brick every single day without fail, eventually you will have walls, rooms, and finally an entire home. Success works exactly the same way. Every disciplined action is another brick placed in the foundation of your future. Reading 10 pages today, exercising for 30 minutes, making one important phone call, learning one new skill, or saving a small amount of money may seem insignificant in the moment. Yet these small actions accumulate into remarkable achievements over months and years. The world celebrates the finished building, but rarely sees the thousands of disciplined choices that made it possible. Greatness is never built in a single day. It is built through ordinary actions repeated with extraordinary consistency. One of the greatest lies people tell themselves is that they need to feel confident before they take action. In reality, confidence is the reward of discipline, not the requirement for it. Think about the first time you tried something new. You probably weren't confident. You may have been nervous, uncertain, or even afraid. But every time you practiced, every time you showed up despite your doubts, you became stronger. Your confidence grew because your discipline created experience, and experience created belief. Waiting for confidence before taking action is like waiting to become fit before going to the gym. It simply doesn't work that way. Action creates progress, progress builds confidence, and confidence inspires even greater action. The cycle always begins with discipline, not emotion. There will always be distractions competing for your attention. Your phone, social media, endless entertainment, excuses, and comfortable routines will constantly invite you to delay your dreams. The modern world has mastered the art of stealing focus, and every distraction carries a hidden cost. Every hour spent avoiding your purpose is an hour that can never be recovered. Discipline is the ability to protect your time and your attention from everything that does not serve your future. It means saying no to temporary pleasures so you can say yes to lasting success. This isn't about giving up happiness. It's about choosing a deeper kind of happiness. The satisfaction that comes from knowing you honored your commitments, kept your promises to yourself, and made meaningful progress toward the life you truly want. The beautiful thing about discipline is that it grows stronger every time you use it. At first, waking up early feels difficult. Finishing difficult work feels exhausting. Resisting distractions feels almost impossible. But every disciplined decision strengthens your character, just as every workout strengthens your muscles. Over time, what once felt impossible becomes normal. The habits that required tremendous effort become part of who you are. You no longer depend on bursts of inspiration because you have become the kind of person who follows through regardless of circumstances. That transformation is where true freedom begins. Instead of being controlled by moods, excuses, or fear, you become the author of your own story. Your habits shape your destiny, your discipline protects your dreams, and your consistency becomes the unstoppable force that carries you toward the life you once believed was only possible for someone else. One of the greatest misconceptions about success is that it happens overnight. We look at successful people and admire the results, but we rarely see the thousands of small decisions that brought them there. Every remarkable achievement is built on ordinary actions repeated day after day. The champion wasn't created on the day they won the trophy. They were created during the early mornings when no one was watching. The successful entrepreneur wasn't made when the business became famous. They were made during the countless hours spent solving problems while everyone else was sleeping. Every great life is the result of small daily choices that seem almost insignificant in the moment. Never underestimate the power of one productive day, because one productive day becomes one productive week, one productive month, one productive year, and eventually an extraordinary life. Success is not about making one giant leap. It is about refusing to stop taking small steps forward. Imagine a tiny seed planted deep beneath the soil. For days and even weeks, nothing appears to happen. To anyone looking from the outside, it seems though the seed is doing absolutely nothing. But beneath the surface, roots are quietly growing stronger, reaching deeper and preparing for the moment when the plant will finally break through the ground. Your daily efforts work exactly the same way. Every page you read, every workout you complete, every new skill you practice, and every challenge you overcome is strengthening the invisible roots of your future. Even when you don't see immediate results, progress is taking place beneath the surface. The people who succeed understand that patience and persistence work together. They trust the process because they know that invisible growth always comes before visible success. The opposite is also true, and it is a lesson that many people learn too late. Just as small positive habits build an extraordinary future, small negative habits quietly destroy it. Skipping one workout may not seem like a big deal. Wasting 1 hour on distractions feels harmless. Delaying one important task appears insignificant. But when those decisions are repeated every day, they become habits, and habits eventually become your lifestyle. Life is rarely changed by one catastrophic mistake. More often, it is shaped by hundreds of tiny choices that either move you closer to your dreams or farther away from them. Every excuse you accept today becomes easier to accept tomorrow. Every productive action you take today becomes easier to repeat tomorrow. Your future is not created by one dramatic moment. It is created by the direction of your daily decisions. Think about the incredible power of consistency. Imagine improving yourself by just 1% every single day. 1% doesn't sound exciting. Most people would ignore such a small improvement because they crave instant transformation. But life doesn't reward impatience. It rewards consistency. Tiny improvements accumulate over time until the difference becomes impossible to ignore. Reading just a few pages each day can lead to dozens of books in a year. Saving a small amount of money every week can grow into financial security. Practicing a skill for one focused hour each day can eventually make you an expert. The magic is not in doing something extraordinary once. The magic is in doing ordinary things extraordinarily well every single day without quitting. There will be days when your progress feels painfully slow. You will work hard without receiving recognition. You will make sacrifices without seeing immediate rewards. In those moments, many people give up because they mistake slow progress for failure. But slow progress is still progress. Every step forward, no matter how small, is carrying you away from the person you used to be and toward the person you are becoming. The strongest people are not those who sprint for a few days and then stop. They are the ones who keep moving even when the finish line is nowhere in sight. They understand that persistence always outlasts temporary bursts of motivation. While others are waiting for perfect conditions, they continue building their future one disciplined action at a time. The most inspiring realization is that every new day gives you another opportunity to make one small decision that changes the direction of your life. You don't have to transform everything before sunset. You don't need to accomplish every goal in a single week. All you need to do is win today. Make the phone call you've been avoiding. Finish the task you've been postponing. Learn something new. Take care of your health. Keep the promise you made to yourself. Those simple victories create momentum, and momentum creates belief. Before long, you begin to see yourself differently, not as someone who dreams about success, but as someone who earns it through consistent action. That's how ordinary people achieve extraordinary lives. One small decision, one disciplined habit, and one determined day at a time. Every incredible achievement begins with a single decision to leave behind what feels safe and familiar. Your comfort zone is a place where everything is predictable. There is no risk, no uncertainty, and very little pressure. At first, it feels like the perfect place to stay because it protects you from failure, embarrassment, and disappointment. But what it also protects you from is growth. Dreams cannot survive inside a life built entirely on comfort. Every goal that excites you exists just beyond the boundaries of what feels easy. If you continue choosing the familiar path simply because it is comfortable, you may avoid temporary discomfort, but you will also miss the opportunity to discover your true potential. Growth has always required courage, And courage begins the moment you take one step into the unknown. Think back to every major accomplishment in your life. There was probably a moment when you felt nervous, uncertain, or even afraid before taking the first step. Whether it was starting a new job, speaking in front of people, learning a difficult skill, or making an important decision, the feeling of discomfort was unavoidable. Yet once you pushed through it, something amazing happened. What once seemed impossible gradually became normal. The fear that once controlled you lost its power because you refused to let it make your decisions. This is how confidence is built. It doesn't appear before action. It grows because of action. Every challenge you overcome sends a message to your mind that you are stronger than you believed. Over time, those victories reshape your identity, turning fear into experience and uncertainty into confidence. One of the biggest reasons people remain stuck is that they confuse comfort with happiness. Comfort offers temporary relief, but it rarely brings lasting fulfillment. Think about the moments in life that made you proud. They probably weren't easy. They required sacrifice, discipline, persistence, and resilience. Whether it was graduating from school, overcoming a difficult obstacle, achieving a fitness goal, or helping someone through a challenging time, the satisfaction came because you earned it. Easy moments are quickly forgotten, but difficult victories stay with you forever. The greatest joy in life comes from becoming someone you never thought you could become, and that transformation only happens when you are willing to embrace challenges instead of avoiding them. Failure is another reason people hesitate to leave their comfort zones. Society has taught many people to fear mistakes, as if failing somehow defines their worth. But failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the journey toward it. Every inventor, entrepreneur, athlete, artist, and leader has experienced setbacks. The difference is that successful people treat failure as feedback rather than a final destination. Every mistake teaches a lesson that success alone could never provide. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" begin asking, "What if this challenge teaches me exactly what I need to know to succeed?" That single change in perspective transforms obstacles into opportunities. The people who achieve extraordinary lives are not fearless. They simply refuse to let fear make their choices. Imagine your life 1 year from today if you chose to face one uncomfortable challenge every single day. It doesn't have to be something dramatic. It could be waking up an hour earlier, having a difficult conversation you've been avoiding, reading instead of scrolling through your phone, exercising when you don't feel like it, or taking the first step toward a dream you've delayed for years. These small acts of courage may not seem life-changing on their own, but together they reshape your character. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you become mentally stronger, emotionally tougher, and more prepared for the opportunities waiting ahead. Your comfort zone gradually expands, and the things that once intimidated you become part of your everyday routine. That's how ordinary people evolve into extraordinary leaders. The truth is that life will always present you with two choices. One path offers immediate comfort, but leads to long-term regret. The other demands temporary discomfort, but leads to lasting fulfillment. Every day you stand at that crossroads, and every decision shapes the person you are becoming. The future belongs to those who are willing to do what others avoid, to face what others fear, and to persist when others quit. Your dreams are waiting on the other side of uncertainty. Your greatest opportunities are hidden behind your biggest fears. The person you are capable of becoming is waiting just beyond the limits of your comfort zone, ready to emerge the moment you decide that your desire for a better life is stronger than your desire to stay where you are. There comes a moment in every person's life when they must make a choice that will define their future. They can continue blaming their circumstances, their past, other people, or bad luck, or they can decide to take complete responsibility for the direction of their life. This decision is not always easy because accepting responsibility means giving up excuses. It means looking in the mirror and realizing that while you cannot control everything that happens to you, You can always control how you respond. The moment you stop waiting for someone else to rescue you is the moment your true power begins to emerge. Every successful individual eventually understands that life changes the instant they stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What can I do about it?" That simple shift transforms victims into leaders and dreamers into achievers. Excuses are incredibly comfortable because they protect us from temporary disappointment. They give us someone or something else to blame when life doesn't go according to plan. We say we don't have enough time, enough money, enough experience, or enough opportunities. We convince ourselves that success belongs to people who were luckier, smarter, or born into better circumstances. But history is filled with people who started with less than you can imagine and still built extraordinary lives because they refused to let excuses become permanent obstacles. Every excuse may feel justified in the moment, but every excuse also steals a piece of your future. The more excuses you collect, the more power you give away. The moment you stop defending your limitations is the moment you begin discovering your strengths. One of the greatest habits you can develop is taking ownership of every decision you make, no matter how small it may seem. Your life is not shaped by one dramatic event. It is shaped by the countless choices you make every single day. The decision to wake up when the alarm rings instead of pressing snooze. The decision to finish the task instead of delaying it. The decision to learn something new instead of wasting another hour on distractions. These choices may appear insignificant, but together they become the blueprint of your future. Every responsible decision builds self-respect because it proves that you are someone who keeps promises to yourself. Over time, this self-respect becomes a foundation of confidence, and confidence gives you the courage to pursue goals that once seemed impossible. Many people spend years waiting for the perfect opportunity before they decide to change their lives. They believe they will finally take action when they have more money, more confidence, more knowledge, or more support. But the perfect moment never arrives because perfection is an illusion. The people who accomplish extraordinary things are not the ones who had perfect circumstances. They are the ones who chose to begin with what they already had. They understood that progress is created by action, not by waiting. Every day you postpone your dreams is another day your potential remains locked away. The future is not built by those who wait for ideal conditions. It is built by those who take imperfect action consistently until opportunities begin to appear where none seemed to exist before. Taking responsibility also means accepting that setbacks are not reasons to quit, but opportunities to grow stronger. Every successful person has experienced rejection, failure, criticism, and disappointment. The difference is that they refused to let those experiences define their identity. Instead of blaming the world for every obstacle, they asked themselves what lesson could be learned and how they could improve. This mindset transforms failure into education and problems into preparation. Every challenge becomes a chance to develop resilience, patience, and wisdom. When you stop seeing obstacles as barriers and start seeing them as teachers, you become unstoppable because no experience, no matter how difficult, is wasted. Everything becomes part of the journey that shapes you into the person capable of achieving greatness. Imagine looking back at your life years from now, knowing that you gave everything you had to become the best version of yourself. Imagine the confidence that comes from knowing you didn't let fear, excuses, or circumstances decide your future. That feeling cannot be purchased, borrowed, or inherited. It is earned through daily responsibility, consistent action, and unwavering commitment to your goals. Every sunrise gives you another opportunity to make decisions that align with the life you want to create. No one else can make those decisions for you. No one else can build your dreams, develop your discipline, or unlock your potential. The pen that writes the story of your life is already in your hands, and every choice you make today becomes another sentence in the legacy you will leave behind. Here's a powerful conclusion for your motivational speech. As you leave today, remember this one truth in your life: will never change because of what you know. It will change because of what you do. The battle against laziness is not won in a single day. It is won every morning when you choose purpose over procrastination, discipline over excuses, and action over comfort. Every decision you make is either building the future you dream about or strengthening the habits that are holding you back. The choice has always been yours, and it always will be. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment does not exist. Stop waiting until you feel motivated, because motivation comes and goes. Stop believing that someone else will create the life you want. You are the author of your story. You are the architect of your future. Every successful person once stood exactly where you are today, with fears, doubts, and obstacles, but they decided that their dreams were more important than their excuses. Imagine where you could be 1 year from now if you committed to improving just a little every single day. Imagine the confidence you would build, the habits you would create, and the opportunities you would attract simply by refusing to quit. Your future self is depending on the decisions you make today. Don't disappoint that person. Make choices today that your future will thank you for. The world doesn't reward those who simply have potential. It rewards those who take action. It rewards those who show up when it's difficult, who keep moving when progress feels slow, and who refuse to surrender when life becomes challenging. Every great achievement begins with one courageous decision, the decision to start. So, when you wake up tomorrow morning and that voice tells you to wait, to delay, or to stay comfortable, answer it with action. Get out of bed, chase your goals, build your discipline, face your fears, take control of your habits, because your habits will determine your destiny. Your past does not define you. Your excuses do not define you. Your failures do not define you. The decisions you make from this moment forward will define the rest of your life. Believe in your potential, trust the process, embrace the struggle, and never stop moving forward. Your best life is waiting for you, but it will only belong to the person who is brave enough to rise, disciplined enough to work, and determined enough to never give up. Thank you, and remember, your future begins with the choice you make today.